We're dinks. We're gonna get asked daily when we plan on having kids.
We're dinks. Of course we're gonna go out to eat every night after work.
We're dinks. We don't have to ask our family for financial help or to watch our kid when we want to go out.
We're dinks. We're gonna go to Costco and buy all the snacks in bulk that we want.
We're dinks. We have disposable income to spend on whatever we would like and don't have to spend on a kid.
We're dinks. I'm gonna go to every football game and play 18 holes whenever I want.
We're dinks. We're gonna get asked to every single family event what we're doing with our life.
Dinks, huh? More like dolts. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy and wild news to get into today, as, of course, the situation is not all right here in the United States, as financially we got some very conflicting news coming in. As, of course, internationally, there are new plans set and laid forward towards conquering and destroying any kind of real wealth and prosperity coming from the West. Lots of crazy news surrounding the new Weather Must Be Gooder conference happening right now in the Middle East. As in Ukraine, the situation couldn't be more tumultuous than ever. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more with all the latest news here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is a genetically forgotten generation of individuals that have consumed so much pop culture and psyop propaganda news that they have literally eugenicized themselves proudly and are bragging about it on social media in what could only be a cope. As the Western world is being heavily depopulated with some very significant numbers of populations going down dramatically, which will create a very serious problem, as many young people are saying that it's not environmentally friendly to have children, as online adult content prevents people from having intimacy, as it's being promoted and shoved down our throats by social media algorithms, as many Americans also report not being financially stable in order to have a next of kin. This, as financially, there has been a larger economic war being waged on the poor and middle class of this country, as some Americans have found refuge in alternatives to the U.S. petrodollar, as 18 hours ago, the spot prices for gold surpassed all-time highs set in 2020, as Bitcoin now in the making of this video is $41,599, also facing a huge increase of value recently, along with precious metals, which is suggesting some major troubles ahead for the U.S. stock market. As, of course, the IRS now promises to fleece and to rob you of even more money that you worked hard for and earned, as of course we are learning today that they are now implementing new increases in hefty costs and penalties for some taxpayers, raising the interest penalties of the underpayment of taxes that you're supposed to know exactly how much you owe to now 8%. This says, of course, the U.S. government needs your pound of flesh, needs your money, in order to politically prosecute people for their political ideas and expressions of speech, just like individuals like Owen Schroyer that have been put in solitary confinement and sent to jail for expressing unpopular opinions about an event that happened at the U.S. Capitol. This, as today, we also got the news that he will now be released this December 8th after a very short prison sentence for something that he shouldn't have been in jail in the first place for. In related political prisoner news, we also recently found out that the inmate that attacked Derek Chauvin in the U.S. federal prison system was also an ex-FBI informant that stabbed him 22 times on Black Friday in tribute to Black Lives Matter. This, as today, Derek Chauvin has been reintroduced into the prison from his hospital stay where he previously sustained life-threatening injuries. This, as in Europe, stabbings are becoming the new norm, which we are getting into a very spicy conversation that we cannot have on this particular platform, as Conor McGregor has even hinted at the possibility of him becoming a major political leader of Ireland. We're going to be talking about that, plus the very tumultuous situation happening right now in all of Europe on LukeUnfiltered.com. It's not just a members area where you get videos centered around health and wealth. almost every single day, but you get a huge access and availability to us, AMAs, a forum, 3 master classes, a members-only store. Our latest t-shirt, just for the members, just at cost, is absolutely hilarious and only available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. Members of LukeUnfiltered.com also get access to an exclusive Telegram channel that when we are live, usually 3 days out of the week, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, specifically here and also on Rumble, you guys actually get to call into the show that reaches hundreds of thousands of people. Just on one particular platform, we're averaging 100, 150K per episode, and that's just one of the platforms that we are on that you, as a member of LukeUnfiltered.com, get to call into. We had a lot of really incredible guests on the show. Members of LukeUnfiltered.com get the ability to ask us unfiltered, unvetted questions. They get to call in through a video, and it's another way to have really awesome interactions with you guys, the members, as we are going to be doing another major live show today, 7 p.m. Eastern, here on this particular platform, specifically interviewing the artist known as Mir One. Tomorrow we have Josie the Outlaw. Then we have Vinny from, of course, Valuetainment. And we are going to have a lot of really incredible guests on this live show that you get to participate more than ever just by simply becoming a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. You could sign up for a month. You could sign up for a year. It doesn't matter. You signing up is incredibly important for sustaining and growing this independent media operation, and we would not exist if it wasn't for you guys actively signing up. Just click right here, put in a little bit of your information, and we will see you there right after this broadcast with a special report just for members. Click the link down in the description below right now, and I will see you there right after this conversation. As of course, we are not done here, as I specifically wanted to talk about making the weather gooder. A topic that, of course, is very contentious, that there still is a lot of scientific debate around, as, of course, the conversation usually is centered around billionaires that have bought off media institutions, scientific organizations, and politicians that use them and wield these people that they have bought off for their own personal wealth and benefit. As the New York Times just gave Bill Gates a platform to promote his initiatives, his businesses, and his conflict of interests without even daring to challenge him, as this kind of PR for the super rich is being normalized by major journalistic institutions that are no longer journalistic, but essentially PR for the super rich class that are using excuses and problems in the world to only empower themselves that much more. This, as of course, there's just young people out there who have been bamboozled and propagandized to the point where they are calling for literally the stopping of farming.
Farming needs to stop. That's the single biggest driver of climate change.
Yeah, because people who needs to eat food, right? As of course, other activists have been calling to stop oil, which would also dramatically impoverish the world while creating major financial burdens on the poorest people of the world that would be absolutely screwed by these kinds of policies. All of this as the COP28 conference is now being held inside of the Middle East, as the United Nations Climate Change Conference is being held right now in Dubai, surrounded by many oil oligarchs, as even the president of COP28 came out and said that, quote, there's no science behind the demands for phasing out fossil fuels. This says, of course, there's a big conflict of interest with many oil oligarchs in the Middle East that do not want to see their major export oil phased out. As of course, this is the original United Nations plan in order to put everyone on batteries and on a grid that could be centrally controlled and turned off at any moment and time. This, as Sky News is reporting, that there's fury to this specific comment, as other people suggest that you need to get rid of fossil fuels, which again predominantly help poor people, in order to achieve their, quote, climate targets. And again, you see the contradictions here. You see the hypocrisy here laid bare for everyone else. As of course, it doesn't just stop there, as Hillary Clinton came out during this conflict and just announced that allegedly 500 million people have been killed because of extreme heat, leaving a lot of people to make a lot of puns, asking themselves how many people have been killed from, being close to the Clintons. I don't know if I could get away with that one. As we have a Liberty Jamie that responded to this post saying how sad it is that climate change has killed Seth Rich and Vince Foster. As of course, during this conference, there also was an announcement that there is going to be an official partnership with the G7 plus nations along with Ukraine in order to promote clean energy. Because, you know, there's nothing that says promoting clean energy like blowing up energy pipelines and creating ecological natural disasters in order to cause strife between Germany and Russia. This, as of course, the first thing that comes to mind is now they care about the environment. As of course, it's important to note here that Ukraine and the forces behind Ukraine, NATO and the United States with the Western-backed powers, literally blew up an energy gas pipeline in the name of fighting off the Ruskies while creating tremendous amount of damage to the environment. And if these environmental people actually care about the environment, they would care about this. As of course, the military-industrial complex is one of the biggest polluters on the world stage. And to have this kind of partnership here for clean energy, while of course they deliberately prolonged this conflict, while they create ecological disasters every single day, while they use depleted uranium rounds, and now they're going to be standing on stage and patting themselves on the back for helping push clean, renewable energies? Are you freaking kidding me? That's just ridiculous here, and the hypocrisy here is very, very rich, as of course the country of Ukraine is dealing with significant problems right now as the conflict that the United States and NATO has baited and told them to continue is not looking too good for them, as the Russians have mobilized an incredible amount of resources and troops on the Ukrainian border and will be launching their own counteroffensive, according to many military experts, very soon, as Ukraine is also set to run out of aid from the United States very soon, as Ukraine has about 3 weeks of U.S. aid money that, of course, will be sent to them, and then after that, larger questions will arise to what will be happening with the future of U.S. foreign involvement and aid with a Republican-backed House that is using this key position in order to, of course, push for more initiatives and policies that work out towards their benefit. And truly, if people really cared about the environment here, we would be addressing the military and industrial complex. We would be addressing the need for escalating and continuing these conflicts when they shouldn't have been continued. We would have been addressing how to end this war and the larger ecological disasters that have been caused by them, rather than actually deliberately prolong them. And again, the conversation about the climate, the environment has been hijacked by absolute lunatics that do not give a damn about the environment because they never did. All they care about is themselves, because if you really did care about the environment, you would deal with these very specific issues that are hurting the environment. It's that simple, in my opinion. Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know down in the comment section below. As of course, the environment, the place around us, is absolutely worth protecting. But the people who are there and are prophesizing the protection of it are usually the ones poisoning it. As of course, there has been a larger ecological war against the human body, our environment, our food supply, our water supply, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, the water that we drink has all been poisoned by the same individuals now standing up and saying, hey, we're going to make the weather gooder. And sorry, I don't believe those sociopathic clowns. Do you? Let me know. Press number 1 if you disagree with them. Press number 2 if you agree with them. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching and supporting this independent media organization. The best way to do that, LukeUnfiltered.com. One more video there coming your way right now. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.